Your passport might be saying something, but your cells might be saying something completely different because often those two numbers don't match. Could be good news, could be bad news. Today, we're doing something that I've been waiting for since the beginning of the series. We will ask AI to calculate our real age. Not the one on your passport, but the one your biology has been calculating in the background this whole time. Hi, I'm Chantal and welcome to AI for 50 Plus, born before Wi-Fi, owning AI. If you've been following along, this is video 7 of the Smart Longevity series. And last week in video 6, we discovered that at around 55 or so, men and women have very different biological paths. Today we're going deeper, and instead of looking at separate markers like sleep or lab work or social isolation, we're going to let all that data actually paint a broader picture. This is where AI really earns its keep. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm happy you came. But before you're able to run the prompts that I will be sharing, you need to go to video 1 where I explain the setup for the longevity notebook in NotebookLM, and you'll need that for the prompts to work. So I'm 62 and some mornings I feel like 40 and others, well, really 80. Now let's see what AI has to say about that. Let me walk you through a couple of concepts with analogies, and I'll refer to my notes. I don't want to miss anything. So the first one is chronological age versus biological age. And that one is fairly simple. Chronological age is like a clock. It ticks at the same rate, same speed for everybody, no exception. Now, biological age is more what happened to your body's story. But the great news is that the biological age is not fixed and actually changes based on what you're doing. It responds to what you do. So if you had a bad story, you can change it. It's never too late. So that's the first thing. The second way to look at it is that chronological age is like a savings account, and it's when you opened it. So that never changes. But biological age is what you've put in it, how much money is in your savings account. Now, the other concept that I want to share with you is functional reserve, and that's your body's backup battery. So it's the extra capacity that your body has to handle stressors like climbing stairs, recovering from the flu, healing after surgery, or just getting through a hard day. When it's strong, your body has enough to react to it and to adapt and to recover. But when you don't have a lot functional reserve, that's when even small stressors can hit much harder. So let me explain now what are the 4 levers or pillars for your functional reserve. Those 4 levers are not random. They are derived from the research that we did when we set up the longevity notebook in NotebookLM. For each of the levers, I'll give you the source, how you find that number, and also why it's important. Lever 1 is lower body power, and in this case it's a test, so you have to do that test. It's the 30-second sit to stand test where you stand and sit from a normal chair and you count the repetitions. In the link that I've put in the description below where you get the prompts, you will also see in there the description of that test, why it matters, because it's the first predictor of functional independence. If you're not strong in your lower body, you might have issues with falling, you might have issues with going upstairs, getting up from the floor. So that's a really important one. It's a simple test, but it gives a powerful signal. The second lever is autonomic nervous system tone. And the source for that one is your resting heart rate and your HRV, your heart rate variability. And those are in your daily journal. What it tells us is how well your nervous system switches between stress mode and repair mode. And that's important because for a lot of us, we stay stuck in stress mode. The lower your resting heart rate and the higher your HRV, the more efficient your recovery is, and it shows strong stress resilience. Lever 3 is metabolic flexibility. The source for that is in your blood lab results in your notebook, specifically glucose, HbA1c, and lipids. And what it measures is your ability to switch between sugar burning and fat burning for fuel. And when you lose that, usually it signals insulin resistance. And why it's critical is because insulin resistance speeds up aging across every organ system. And finally, lever 4 is cardiovascular efficiency. And the metric for that is your VO2 max result. But if you don't have that, your resting heart rate is a reasonable proxy. And your source is either your daily journal for your resting heart rate or your wearable for your VO2 max. And what it reflects is how hard your heart works just to keep you running at baseline. If you have a high cardiovascular capacity, every cell gets steady, reliable oxygen. And that's more important for long-term health than most people realize. Before I show you the map and the dashboard, if you need a bit more one-to-one help in AI, I'm offering AI clarity sessions. There are more details in the pinned comment and in the description. Here we are in NotebookLM at notebooklm.google.com in the longevity notebook. And the first thing I want to show you is that for each of the 2 prompts, you would have to go in this section here in the studio on the right, click on infographic here, and then you don't have to touch the top part here. You simply paste the prompt into this area and click on generate, and then you will get both the infographic and then you would get the dashboard. And this is the resilience benchmark map. And you'll see that on this map, you have all 4 levers, but mapped across 3 zones. You have elite performance, you have the functional baseline, and you have the clinical fragility zone. And what is important here is that this is not a generic internet chart. NotebookLM actually reads your actual files, and you can see here that it's for a 62-year-old woman. And I did not input that, and you'll see in the prompt, it actually has to go and figure out if I'm a woman and what is my age. And then it calibrates it because what is elite for a woman is different for a man, and what is elite for a 60-year-old is different for a 75-year-old. So it does all of that. And then it pulls from your research that you have in your notebook what is important. So all of those values here are not just random. They are based on research. Now, that's your personal reference point before you see your own numbers. Now that we know the standard, we can finally see what is our biological age. But before that, I just want to show you here on the left-hand side, you have all of your sources. And apart from the research that has been done, one document is really important to make sure that NotebookLM has your latest numbers in terms of your resting heart rate and your HRV and VO2 max. You need to come here in your daily journal. Now, mine is called Fast Track Max because I use it for an app, but it's the same thing. It's my journal. And what you need to do is go up here to click to sync with Google Drive because you want it. You want it to be the latest. And you see here that the sync was successful. Now, for the dashboard, the only thing you need to do is, after you sync this, is to do the sit to stand test. And then you'll see in the prompt that there's a section, not at the beginning, but very close to the top in phase 1, you have to input that number. Once you do that, then NotebookLM actually goes into your daily journal and does an average of your resting heart rate, HRV, VO2 max, a 7-day average. Then it goes into your blood test results, which are also in the notebook. And I'll show you here. So I have a few of them here, and you'll notice that they're redacted because I didn't want to have personal information floating around. So in video 1, and the link is in the description, I explain how to do that. NotebookLM goes into your blood test and it pulls your glucose, it pulls your HbA1c and lipid values automatically. So you don't need to provide any of that, it's already there. Now, I was really happy to see that my biological age was 56, and it's funny, well maybe it's not funny, it's great because it's the same as what I have in my stress watch app that I use with my Apple Watch, because it calculates based on a number of things, probably similar things, what your age would be, and I have the exact same age. So that's great. What I want to tell you is I was willing to do it even if it said 66 and show it to you, because you have to look at this number as with curiosity and not with anxiety, because it's a starting point. It's not a sentence. Remember what I said at the beginning, that this number is not fixed. Your chronological age is fixed, but not your biological age. You can't fix something if you don't know it needs fixing. So you have to look at it. Now, you would think that the most important section in this whole dashboard is the middle here, but no. The most important one is that tiny little rectangle here at the bottom that I didn't want to put too big, because that's your single weakest link. The one marker doing the most damage right now, and it's paired with a little micro habit to help you. And you know what? I wasn't surprised at my weakest link. My weakest link is my sitting time. And honestly, I'm not happy AI confirmed what my husband keeps telling me, but it's true. I get so focused on my AI projects that I don't even come up for air sometimes. You find the bottleneck, in my case, my sitting time, you apply the fix, and who knows, I'm gonna re-audit it in a month from now, and maybe my biological age will be in the 40s. One can always dream. That's the whole point of this series. You try to get better, and you try to live longer, but live longer with good health. And that's the whole point. Why don't you try it now? First, do the sit to stand test right now if you can. Then download the prompts and run them. You'll get first your benchmark map for your age and gender, and then your biological age dashboard. And let me know in the comments, what is your weakest link? Now, before I let you go, here's what's coming next. Today, we looked at the long-range picture, your biological age, your functional reserve. But what about right now, this afternoon when your energy crashes, or you get up in the morning and your brain can't focus and you don't know if it's hydration, stress, lack of sleep? In video 8, we build your well-being operating system. And for that, we'll take into account your daily journal, your personality profile, and even your medical results. And we'll give you a personalized recommendation for whatever is happening in your body right now. Not some generic stuff like drink a bit more water and go for a walk, but specific fix for your body. That's next week. See you then.